Select Technology doing around Microsoft Copilot?
We're doing quite a few things. We're quite keenly promoting it with our customers because of the productivity benefits and the creativity benefits that it brings. We're doing a lot of training rollout and helping people understand the benefits and what they can do and how they can get the best from the tool. There's a lot of consulting work. We're doing everything. We do workshops. You came to one of our workshops, which was very much appreciated. It's been a bit of a wild ride, I would say, because a year ago, we're now February 25, so a year ago, we were kind of thinking, well, this Copilot thing's probably going to come along at some point, and then it did, and then it's every time I log onto it at the moment, it's different because it does something else. Oh, hello, it does that.
Yeah.
Now. So we're going through a big learning curve, but we have really put a lot of effort into learning with and sharing with and supporting our customers, and communicating more generally. We don't want to try and say this is just for us and just for our customers. Obviously, it's a global thing, and it's changing the world, and we're trying to help our customers on that journey and on that change.
And like you said, it's every time you log onto it, there's something new, something exciting, so much more to learn. How have TD SYNNEX helped you guys understand it more?
Well, as I say, you came along and helped us launch our program, which was very much appreciated. I think access to the resources, access to the training that we've had through the Select program, just advice somebody on the end of the phone can, yeah, no, you can't do that, or yes, you can do that, but this is the license, and and understanding the commercial model, which initially was a little opaque. It's a bit clearer now, but I think a year ago we were all sort of looking at it going, I don't really know how to commercialize this, but we're much clearer now, and TD SYNNEX have been really supportive, critical, I would say, in helping us go from we don't have an AI practice to okay, we know where we're going, and I don't think we could have done it without you.
And so do you recommend that everybody buys Copilot for M365?
Yes,
or?
I think everybody should buy Copilot, and I think they should all buy it from us.
Of course.
I think so. We particularly focus on the Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365, which is not the catchiest name in the world, but embedded into your business, and we focus a lot on risk management. And that sounds really dull, risk management, but it's an important factor. So you're sort of comparing, there are things that, yes, you could do in for example, ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, the alternatives that are out there, but where's that data going? And that I think is a big driver, because it's really, really clear with Microsoft Copilot. It's really clear that this is where the data is going, who owns it, where is it going to be used. It actually comes with, I often say to customers, it comes with a slight frustration that sometimes you have to keep teaching it the same thing, but that's because it's forgetting every time. Whereas ChatGPT, you can go back to it and say, what do you think about it? And it will remember something from 3 weeks ago. Copilot, for security reasons, forgets everything all the time, which is actually a benefit. It also gives you those things that reaches the parts that other AIs cannot reach, to coin a phrase from many years ago. You're too young for that. That was an old beer advert. But the idea that it can get into Outlook, it can read directly in from your mailbox or calendar, and read your SharePoint files, your OneDrive files, all that kind of integrated context of what's going on. So I have a prompt that I run twice a day, which is simply catch me up on what's going on my emails and any document changes that I need to be aware of. And I run that 9 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it has revolutionized my world, because I know I'm always on top of it. I never miss if I get an email from a customer, sometimes you're really busy, you don't see it, and then it drops down the list. That prompt, run that twice a day, never miss a thing. And then so you're always back to your customer in a timely way. That kind of thing, which you just can't do any other way. Copilot for 365 is the only way you can do that, because it's the only one that can see in and actually understand the context, and even understand the importance of this is a customer, this is a circular from a supplier that you don't really care about. This is the one you need to focus on. That's hugely powerful. the creativity side of things with, help me write a document. I can give a really good example that I had a quite long engagement on Teams with a customer a couple of weeks ago, and I turned on the transcription. So my job is a lot of consulting, a lot of talking for a living and thinking for a living, and I'd had transcription on. Typically, on a day-long consultation, I then have to go away and spend another half a day writing up the report and going, "Oh, this is what we did." I simply went to the transcription in Teams, grabbed that out, gave it to Word, said, "Make this a report." It wasn't perfect, and one of the things I always say is, don't ever just do it in AI and then send it off to your customer, because who knows quite. So you've got to read through it, you've got to check exactly what it's done. But it had done 80% of the lifting, so it was all formatted properly in the right brand. It was, it had got the bulk of the bullet points. There was a few bits and pieces that I was like, I don't think that's quite what we meant, because it's, it doesn't always understand exactly what you're saying. But it had done 80% of the lifting, saved me 2 or 3 hours of work. That it means that I can get on with the next thing. Also, I use it, so I do a lot of coding as well. You might not think Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365, is that a coding tool? No, not really. There is a Copilot. It's called GitHub Copilot, which is proper coding Copilot. But for Microsoft 365, go into Whiteboard and just go, what kind of functions might I want if I was building a, I don't know, ice cream salesman app, right? And it will come up with 20 things. There you go. You could do this. And then you go, I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Like that. Hadn't thought of that. And it's really good, and just that, again, just getting the brain flowing. The stuff you can do in Excel as well with data analysis. Just give me a chart that shows me this. Boom, done. Love it.
Game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can tell, I can, and if left unchecked, will talk about this all day.
Because you're passionate.
Something like that. I really can. I can just go on about it all day, because it is changing the world. And I heard somebody today saying that the kind of hyperbole around it is getting more and more. So a year ago, you were hearing things saying this is the biggest game changer since the computer. And then it had become, this is the biggest game changer since the Industrial Revolution. I heard somebody today say this is the biggest game changer since the discovery of fire.
I thought you were going to say sliced bread. I was like, what?
No. Sliced bread's not that long ago. So it's, it is changing the world. And in a way that is very timely. We have a productivity issue in the UK. So if we can use AI to give everybody an extra even if it's half an hour a day of extra productivity, that's huge, So yes, I think everybody should, and I think it's going to become one of those things very, very quickly. I'm extremely old. I finished school in the sort of late Cretaceous period, and when I started in the workplace, it was, if you can use a computer, that's an advantage.
Yeah.
Right? By the early 2000s, it was, if you can use a computer, that's essential. But if you can use Office packages, that's an advantage.
Yes. Yeah.
By 2010, of course you can use an Office package, for goodness sake, and then it was, can you use internet cloud services and so on. And I think AI is very, very quickly going to go the same way. I think within a year or two, it's going to be, if you can't do this, don't apply for the job. It's going to be an absolute expectation. So yes, adopt, learn.
Go to Select Technology.
And I'll come and talk to you about it all day, and also do something more actually practical and productive as well.
Thank you so much for that. Really insightful. And I look forward to continue to work with you on Microsoft Copilot.
Indeed.